Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to our channel. So I just got done watching Grownish. You know, like the show that's like the spinoff of Blackish, but like about college. So, you know, it's like kind of related. And I have a lot of opinions about it. It's always been one of those shows where I've been like meaning to watch, but like haven't for whatever reason. Like people have been saying like, oh wow, this would be like very relatable to you. Like you'd probably like vibe with this. But I always find like some kind of excuse to like not watch the show, you know what I mean? But recently I got some free time and also it coincidentally fit pretty well with today's video sponsor, Hulu. The show overall is super entertaining and I am fully aware that it's like a dramatization, like not real, like an exaggeration, a portrayal of what college is supposed to be. We're gonna actually point out the things that were particularly realistic and things that were just kind of entertaining, yes. Realistic, no. So let's get into it. First, let's start off with the positives, the more realistic side of things. And again, as a reminder, I actually really did enjoy the show. It was actually one of the first shows that I actually watched where I actually like felt something for the characters. Like I actually got emotional. Whenever like characters would like break up, I would actually feel that emotion. And for someone that just does not do that on the regular, it was a welcome surprise. So I do like the show, but it doesn't mean it gets off the hook. So let's start with the positives. Now, if you're not too familiar with the show, the main character Zoe is starting off being like a whole fashion design major and doesn't really know what she wants to do. She's really passionate about fashion, but just doesn't seem to be keeping up per se. Actually, I wouldn't say keeping up, I'd say more inspired, the same way as her other classmates are. So what she ends up doing is she actually decides to just leave fashion design and go more into fashion styling. So staying under the umbrella of fashion, but like expressing that differently. And I found that to be a really good plot point, like very good arc, simply because I think it's really relatable. Everyone's stressed about their major, about what they're doing, whether they're actually doing the right thing or not, whether they're like being their full self, bringing their full self into their education or not. I know for me, I definitely have. Freshman and sophomore year was definitely an identity crisis. I thought I was gonna be a bio major and then I ended up not being one and being a communications major. And in between, I was like so unclear and so undecided that I made like merch about it, because like, you know, if you're gonna be confused and like suffer, you might as well like profit off of it too. But I did think her whole internal conflict that she was having with her major and with her whole life goal was very relatable, and it definitely struck a nerve with me. That was one of those moments where I was like, ooh, chill out, please, Lord, please, good Lord. It hit a little bit too close to home for my liking. The next thing that the show did that I think was pretty realistic was Zoe's whole money struggle and just the overall students' money struggle. There's like a couple different times in the show where they really highlight on just like the different socioeconomic statuses of Zoe's friend group. Zoe is definitely a lot more well off than a lot of her friend groups and is actually seen as kind of bougie. So there's like this one arc where her parents actually cut her off and she's forced to get a job, but she has this whole like bougie mentality where like she thinks she's too good for certain jobs because they're not necessarily in line with her career that she wants in fashion. And she actually ends up working in this bookstore. She learns to like humble herself a little bit more. But they also talk about money with some of Zoe's friends. Sky and Jazz, who are played by Chloe and Hallie, are track stars who have a track scholarship and are constantly in need of like always doing their best to like keep their scholarship and to also like find odd jobs to make some extra money. And the show even touches on college debt because one of the characters, Aaron, he's set to graduate in the next year and finds out that he actually has to pay back all of these loans that he took out for school. So instead of actually doing that, he decides to sign up for a master's program to sort of push that off just for a little bit. And I feel like all of those things are things that students like actually do and do pretty often. So it's really nice to see like our own lives as college students reflected in media, because for the most part when like shows talk about school, it's usually almost always about high school. Like the only shows I can really think of that are based in college are Grownish and Dear White People. Let me know if I'm missing some, because those are the only two that I can really think of. And then the last major accuracy that I would say that the show has to do with its studying. Well, part of its studying. I do have some things to say about the way that they portray studying in the unrealistic side. As far as like realism goes, they're really just like so accurate with like the whole procrastination thing. They just have a really good portrayal of just like procrastination and just like having more fun things to do instead of studying. Like when you think that you're gonna go to a party for only like 20 minutes or like an hour and then come back home and study and then just like never end up studying until like the next day. But yeah, for those things I think that they nailed it. Now for the slightly more interesting side, here are some things that they kind of just missed the ball on. I don't know who they said this was relatable to, who said that this was realistic. But before we get into that, I want to talk about this video sponsor, Hulu. If you're not familiar with Hulu, they're an online streaming service that offers some of the most popular TV shows and originals for you to watch on your smartphone, laptop, TV, tablet, pretty much anywhere. They have a huge library of shows for you to watch, binge, and fall in love with. For example, if you have not seen Grownish, it is also on Hulu. So if you want to follow along and like really see what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like the realistic versus not so realistic things, then you can binge the whole show over on Hulu. And since it is February and Black History Month, Hulu is putting an emphasis on Black stories featuring shows like Atlanta, Power, the whole Ish series, so Blackish, Grownish, Mixed-ish, as well as many, many more. Hulu is the perfect service for you if you like binge watching, as they are constantly adding new shows for you to watch and getting the most up-to-date seasons for your favorite shows. Hulu is also awesome for college students as they have a Hulu student offer. The Hulu student offer is available for only college students, where you can get the Hulu ad-supported plan for $1.99 a month, which is normally $5.99 a month for everybody else. That is actually correct. I am telling you that you can watch all of your favorite shows for $1.99 a month. Less than a cup of coffee. Less than a carton of eggs. All of your favorite shows for less than the price of a bottle of water. Now, you tell me, would you rather have a bottle of Fiji or the entire collection of The Real Housewives of Atlanta? Think about it. Think about it. Either way, you can click the link in my description to start your Hulu student offer subscription and to start binging. Thank you so much, Hulu, for sponsoring this video, and now we're going to get into some of the less realistic things in Grownish. Let me not even get to Vivek. Like, he's amazing. He is... Trust me, he's amazing. He just really radiates 40-year-old energy in the body of a 20-year-old. It's just like the way that he approaches girls at the bar. He's just like, hey honeys, you want a shot? Like, no, please, stay back. The next thing that I have trouble believing as like realistic, that probably wouldn't be realistic in real life. Somehow you see Zoe, and these are all of her friends from season 1. Somehow by season 3, they are all still friends. Now let me clarify. They are all still friends, and they've all had beefs with each other. They've all at one point or another had some problem or some argument with each other, and somehow in college they are all still friends 3 years later. Well, I know they say that your friends that you find in college are going to be the best friends for the rest of your life, but not that many. In high school, they're like, people are so real, like you'll find your people and you'll ride with them, but not freshman year. Not freshman year, that's not where you find them. Especially not the friends that you make freshman year still being your best friends by junior year. That's like unheard of. They're like a pack. They're like a pack of freshmen that aren't freshmen anymore. Like one of them's even like a senior, and right now they're all juniors and they're all still friends. I don't get it. Like I can tell you my freshman year I was friends with maybe like 10, 15 people. Okay. But now I have like 5 friends max. Max. Like, you have to like drop some people along the way as you grow as a person, but for some reason, I think this might be like maturity, or at least like what Hollywood thinks college friendships are like. They just keep growing with each other. I don't get that. How are you still friends with the, and some of the people have done some like really shady stuff, like definitely deserved a cut off, but they're all still friends, and I refuse to believe that's real. That can't be real. I refuse to believe it. I just don't believe that a freshman year college friend group will survive until junior year or even senior year. They haven't gotten there yet, but I refuse to believe it. If they actually end up breaking up senior year, okay, maybe I'll believe it. But like for right now, no. You can't tell me otherwise. Are you still friends with the majority of people that you were friends with freshman year? I didn't think so. I didn't think so. The next thing that I find really hard to believe that just is not realistic in most colleges is just how well everyone dresses. Like everyone is constantly in a fit. I know like 2 of the friends out of the whole friend group are actually in fashion, but why is everyone, minus Vivek, always dripped? Everyone is always busting out fits. Even the extras are busting out in fits. Like I don't get it. Like people just don't do that in college. Of course, like there may be like a few people that like dress up every now and then, but everyone always looks so good. And the way that they dress for parties, your white shirt and jeans, your black little crop top and jeans could never. Like they dress like they're going out, even if it's just like a dorm party. And I just refuse to believe that's true, because that's just like not reality. That could never actually happen in real life. No one actually does that, or not. The majority of people don't actually do that. Like most people just like show up in like sweats to class, but no, it's like fashion week every day at that school. I kind of want to be there, but I also kind of don't, because I feel like I'd be constantly judged based on how good everyone else looks. Constantly. And then like now getting more into like the obscure, let's talk about like where they live. So like First off, let's talk about when they're in the dorms. I don't know if my school's dorms are just small, but their dorms look huge. First of all, huge and overly well furnished for a temporary space. And two, when they got older and got their own place, why were their places so nice? In the third season, they have a whole house. And not just like a house, not like an Airbnb rental where they have like a couple of rooms. They have a whole house with a backyard patio. Like I get like 5 people are living there, but at the same time, what? Aww. Like look at this. Just look at this and tell me these are college juniors. I'm a college junior and I'm living in like a 400 square foot apartment. And they're living in that? They're living in this. Like, I just don't think that the majority of people are living like that. If they are, let me know, hit me up. I'd be happy to be your roommate. But I don't think the majority of people are really living like that. And then the last thing that really stood out to me as particularly unrealistic is like their study habits and like their class habits. Like they're never in class. Like in the first season, okay, they were in class, they showed like class scenes, but they're never doing work for one. And two, it always just seems like they just disappear. Like classes just disappear, they're not actual work. Like you never actually see anyone like studying. Like I feel like it would have been fun to like see like a study date scene or like a group study session. Like I know they're all majoring in different things, but I feel like a quintessential part of like the college experience is like studying with a big group of people and then figuring out you cannot study with a big group of people. Like I feel like there could have been a whole storyline there, but like I just never see them actually studying. It's always them trying to avoid studying, and the only times I see them in class are when they're just like chit-chatting with other people or when there's other drama and they usually end up walking out the class or like being very sad in that class. Like that whole school just seems dysfunctional. I don't know what degree they're really getting. Maybe Zoe was on to something dropping out, but like what are they learning? Like where are they doing their work? Like I've never seen Nomi even pick up a book, and she's supposed to be a star student, like straight A student. Never seen her in the class, never seen her take a test. I don't know how that works. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Like I said before, I did say a lot of stuff, but I actually really do like Grownish and I'll continue watching it probably. Now I wanna know, have you seen Grownish? And if I have, am I right? Or have you seen other things that are just like unrealistic or just like what? And if you haven't, what are some other shows I should watch and talk about? Because I don't have much going on nowadays. If you're new to the channel and want to see more content like this, then definitely subscribe and hit the like button because that helps me out a lot. Make sure to follow me on my social medias here to participate in future videos and to just capture the vibes. And also, if you're interested, don't forget to click the link in my description to start your Hulu student offer. And thanks again, Hulu, for sponsoring this video. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Imurgency, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.